Episode 2, the man who read my soul, a princess in heels, power suits, and prestige. They say when a woman has it all, it becomes harder to see what's missing. I had the life most women dream about. I wasn't just financially secure. I was wildly successful, admired, respected, and if I'm honest, a little intimidating. I wasn't searching for love. I was searching for expansion. I wasn't craving a partner. I was craving a peer, someone who could meet me intellectually, challenge me, not need me. And most of all, I wanted someone who didn't flinch at my strength. So imagine my surprise when a man I barely noticed during a business meeting in an office tower elevator began reappearing everywhere. It was never intrusive, always coincidental, or so I thought. First, it was the supermarket. I was buying avocados. He reached for the same ones. Looks like we both have good taste. He smiled. His charm was smooth, unhurried, just a polite exchange. I walked away without a second thought. Then it was the mall. Then it was near my office building. Then at the same coffee shop I visited twice a week. He always acted surprised, always delighted. Looks like we're neighbors in more ways than one, he joked once, making it sound playful, even flattering. And that's the thing about men like him. Narcissists wrapped in philosophers' robes. You never see the rope until it tightens. Because their words feel like silk, their presence like a rare scent you can't quite describe, but find yourself craving. After the third coincidence, I began to feel the pull. His presence didn't feel forced, it felt designed. Not manipulative, no, not yet. Just orchestrated. He was unlike any man I'd met. And trust me, I've met many at conferences, panels, boardrooms. Most men, no matter how accomplished, eventually found my independence inconvenient. But this man, he admired it. Or at least, he made it seem that way. I took the bait. I invited him for a walk around my block one evening, casually suggesting we continue the discussion we had at the cafe about Nisha and emotional detachment. He said yes without hesitation. And that night began what would become a nightly ritual. He never imposed, never arrived too early, never stayed too long. He matched my pace, literally and intellectually. We walked, we talked, we shared books, we argued ideas. The world faded when we spoke. He spoke of Sartre, of how the deepest fear isn't abandonment but being truly seen. He told me about the places he lived, Prague, Vienna, Seoul. Each city a story, each story a hook. He never bragged, he presented, and I ate it up. He became the only man I'd ever met who didn't shrink in my light. Or so I thought. He didn't flatter me, he studied me. At the time, I saw it as rare depth. Now, I know better. He asked things no one ever dared. What's the one thing you're afraid people will find out about you? Do you cry alone or in front of someone? What kind of failure would destroy you? They didn't sound invasive when he asked. They sounded sacred, almost like a ceremony of knowing. And for the first time in my life, I felt known, not looked at, not admired, known. But here's the thing, when you've never had a man go deep, you don't realize when he's digging too far, when he's not digging to plant, when he's not digging to build. He's digging to own the land. And I let him, gladly. My gut whispered, my logic blinked, but the spell was too strong. I have found an alpha, not entitled, but an intellect. Not an ego, but an ease. He would walk me to the corner cafe, share coffee, recite passages from obscure books, watch the way my eyes lit up when I caught the reference, and each time he'd smile, like a magician whose trick just landed. I told myself I was being seen. In truth, I was being scanned, like data. And he was collecting every fear, every insecurity, every pressure point, not to hurt me, not yet. First, he had to memorize the map. He once said, "You're the type of woman empires are afraid of." I laughed, flattered. But now I realize He wasn't celebrating me. He was preparing for conquest. I was used to admiration. But this man gave me fascination. And that is a drug to a woman who has always been the one doing the explaining. I told myself this was destiny. 2 intellectuals, 2 empires. 2 sovereigns not seeking to rule but to coexist. What I didn't know then was this. Narcissists don't fall in love. They identify utility. He once asked me, "What's the one moment in your childhood you never told anyone about?" And I told him, I still don't know why. But he listened like a priest. He nodded like a philosopher. He comforted like a poet. And that's the thing. His intelligence was a disguise. His sensitivity was a trap. His attention, it was the weapon. But I didn't see it. I saw the walks, the laughter, the comfort. I told myself I was safe. He made me feel brilliant, radiant, like my past relationships had been a mistake, and this was the real thing. And maybe that's the cruelest part, because he never hurt me. Not yet. He didn't lie. He didn't cheat. He didn't even demand. He just studied. And when you've never felt studied in a way that made you feel adored, you confuse curiosity with care. I ignored the red flag, that strange feeling that his questions were not about connection, but collection, because he never forgot the answers. He'd repeat my fears weeks later, gently, like he was holding my hand. And now I know that's how they train you to trust them. Not by giving, but by taking skillfully, softly, and visibly. Until one thing happened. One thing a narcissist is really, really good at. You know what that is? Wait for episode 3.